Hi everyone, I hope you're all well. In this video blog, I'm going to explore the world's obsessions with smartphones and how this is partially responsible for me becoming a life coach. So how did all this happen? Well, in my previous corporate life, I would frequently travel to attend meetings in numerous locations, some of which were far more exotic than others. Whilst the idea of business travel can seem very glamorous, the reality is often very different. Essentially, it involved a lot of rushing around, usually in weather that does not support the wearing of a suit and tie. Then, when you eventually get there, you're expected to be at the top of your game and appear as fresh as a daisy. The reality is that you normally arrive to your destination hot, stressed and rather bedraggled. So whilst all the rushing around was a bit of a nightmare, I would always use the journey as an opportunity to observe everyday life. And it was these observations that inspired me to work with people to help them improve their lives. My biggest observation during these business trips was people's obsession with their smartphone. I can distinctly remember driving across London Bridge, and I was looking out of the cab window. I couldn't help but notice that virtually every person I saw was transfixed by their phone screen. I also recall being on a busy Singapore metro. The only people not staring at a screen was myself and this little old chap who was deep in thought. So this got me thinking, why isn't anyone taking in the sights and sounds of these magnificent cities? Okay, so I guess many people are no longer impressed by their surroundings when they travel the same route every single working day. But could that commuting time be used as valuable thinking time? Or why not use the time to reflect on whether or not they are happy? Or how about just relaxing the mind and thinking of absolutely nothing? Then it dawned on me, the smartphone is being used as that little escape from the trappings of everyday life. The smartphone has become our prison cell window. People of all ages are now completely captivated by several inches of very expensive plastic. So what are people actually looking at? I guess some people are looking at the wonderful things they wish they were doing instead of enduring some hideous daily commute. Other people will be looking at their favourite celebrities who are, of course, living the absolute perfect life. And others will be scrolling through endless rubbish in the hope that the next item to appear on the screen is actually of some use. The truth is, this has simply become a very time-consuming habit for many people. At this rate, half the population of the planet will probably end up suffering some kind of repetitive strain injury called scroller's thumb. So when exactly did life become so hideously mundane that we decided to sacrifice large chunks of our waking hours staring at these expensive pieces of plastic, just to see what other people are up to? I must just get across a couple of important points here. Firstly, I have been massively guilty of doing this myself in the past. And when my phone was telling me that my average daily use was north of 3 hours, then it was time to face the reality that I was squandering over 15% of my waking hours on my phone. Secondly, the irony of you listening to this video blog on a gadget that I'm referring to is not lost on me, okay? I guess that we have slowly but surely allowed our smartphones to control many aspects of our lives. And for what? I've been sat on a table of 16 people for dinner in a top restaurant, and at one point 14 of the 16 people were on their phones, not talking or doing anything vaguely productive, just scrolling. Maybe people are happy doing this. Maybe there's immense pleasure from spending valuable time obsessing over other people's lives. And if so, then fine. As long as people are happy, then that is cool. But what about those of you who are not happy spending your valuable time in this way? What about those of you who have aspirations to achieve something and would prefer to make great use of your valuable time? How many of you, hand on heart, are truly happy spending as much time as you do on your phone? In addition to the amount of time we lose on our phones, we also need to think about the quality of the information that we are consuming and what impact it might be having on our mental mindset. Sure, there are some amazing benefits to some of the information and applications available on our gadgets. We can plan road trips, watch sports, do research and book holidays, all at the click of a finger. But realistically, these productive items make up only a small percentage of our online time. The bulk of the time, people are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and other applications that I'm just far too old to know anything about. I also wonder how much of this scrolling is a distraction from the reality of looking at ourselves. Self-reflection, whilst very powerful, can sometimes be a difficult pill to swallow. So losing ourselves in social media can be a way of avoiding that self-reflection, but ultimately that's not doing us any favours in the long run. My all-time favourite coach once wrote, "If you're prepared to do what is hard, life will become easy. But if you're only prepared to do what is easy, life will become hard." So I guess that staring at the phone screen, looking at what the rest of the world is doing, is easier than looking at ourselves. What do you do with your time is your choice entirely. But here is a thought for you. If you spend 2.5 hours per day on social media, this equates to spending 1 year out of every 10 years of your life looking at your phone. Imagine what you could do with that time. So here's my final question. Do you own your phone, or does your phone own you? Being stuck in this virtual prison cell is optional. There are no guards or iron doors keeping you there, so the choice is yours. Take care everyone. I hope this has given you some positive food for thought, and bye for now. All the very best.